Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Toby.
And I'm Micah, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to the very first episode of Dropping Nuggets with Toby and Micah. We are so glad that you guys have tuned in. We definitely feel like we have something very great to share with you guys. So get your buckets ready because we about to start dropping nuggets.
That's right. And look, it's the first one. So I had a little technical problem. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I know we're supposed to start at 8:30. I had some technical problems on working the platform, but I figured it out. But I guarantee you, I was talking to my boy today, Mike, and he was talking about the journey of progression. He was talking about how it's the first one, you're gonna make some mistakes. And
Right.
sure enough, look, I was prepared. I've been prepared for this for like 2 weeks. And look what happened. I couldn't even get it up. I couldn't even get the thing up right. But it's all good. We on here live now. I'm super excited. This is what we want to do real quickly. We want to say that our hearts and our prayers go out to the people in California, the wildfires and all those things. So it's crazy what's going on. So our hearts and prayers go out to those people. Also, the people in East Tennessee who's still recovering from the hurricane. I'm originally from East Tennessee. Where you from, Michael? Tell me where you
Lincoln,
from.
Alabama. Shout out my hometown.
But you live in my hometown, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, we want to shout out to those people, man, who are going through the recovery process. We're thinking about you, and we do believe it is definitely going to get better. We do believe that. Let me also say this real quick. I'm going to give it back to Micah. This is every third Thursday. We're going to be going live every third Thursday. Now, here's the deal. On the Dropping Nuggets page, we've had to do some workarounds because you have to meet criteria to go live now. So you have to be 60 days active on the account, and you also have to be have 100 followers. And so the 100 followers we hit in one day. How you feel about that?
I feel ecstatic. Thank you guys so much for the support. Honestly, I was blown away to see that we had got over 124 hours, but it just goes to show that people are wanting more. They're wanting to hear more, see more, and just, dive in deeper to, better themselves in their lives. So I was just over the moon to see that.
Yeah, I think they want to hear you. I think that's what it is. I think those people just want to hear what you got to, what kind of nuggets you're gonna be dropping, right? So,
Maybe.
but yeah, so we have met the criteria for 100, but we have to wait 60 days on the Dropping Nugget page. So what we did was we just pushed the live to my personal Facebook page, shared it from that point. But in March, everything will be on the Dropping Nugget page, and we need you to go to YouTube. Like tonight, we need you to go to YouTube, the Dropping Nugget page on YouTube. Push that one up because eventually our goal is to take this into a podcast form, and that's where it's at. It's on YouTube. Podcasts go on YouTube, but for now, we're gonna go live on Facebook and YouTube. How you feeling about this? How you feeling
I'm
about this?
very, very excited. Podcasting is something that is like very near and dear to my heart. It is something that I've actually wanted to do for years, but because of my own self and total honesty, I just never have like jumped off the porch and got into it. So I'm super excited to see where this goes and just watch our journey and my journey grow and just allow God to be God.
You know what? I really think this is your grandmother. Uh, you can't see the comments, can you?
I cannot, no.
You can't see the comments. I can see the comments. Look, we're trying this platform out, and it's pretty cool. I can see all the comments over here, and I do believe this is your grandmother, Ernestine. Right? Is that your grandmother?
That's my grandmother.
So
Shout
she
out to
says
my
hello.
granny.
She says hello, Micah and Toby. So we're live. Okay, just so you know, it's not like uploaded with a live over in the corner. Now we are actually live on here. So man, chat with us in the comments. Put some comments in there. If you need to drop some nuggets in the comments, I can definitely guess I can actually put it on the screen to be honest with you. So I'm gonna ask you a question real quick. This is the very first one, and Why did you choose? First of all, let me say this. Thank you for accepting the invitation to collaborate with me and be a co-host. I'm like, I'm gonna reach out to Micah and see. First, it was all about I want her to be the first guest on what I was getting ready to do. Then I was like, no, I think I'm gonna ask her to do this with me. Why did you choose to do it with me? Why did you choose to do it with me?
So it was a little unintentional in like total honesty. So when you first reached out to me about it, I was actually in the process of traveling over like the Christmas break. And so I read it like really fast. And so in my head, I was like, oh, he just wants me to be like a guest, do like a Facebook Live together. And that's it. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I just responded really fast, which I have a bad habit of not reading things in full detail sometimes. So then, when we started talking about it a little bit more, and you started like showing me the flyers that you had made, I was like, oh wait, like I was like, we're gonna be co-hosts, and then just me being, school's been out since early December, so I'm still kind of all over the place, and I totally forgot that this was the third week until we were talking about it, and I was like, oh crap, like it's going to be this week. So it was an unintentional yes, but I'm so glad that I said yes, because this year is all about stepping out of my comfort zone, which is something that like people don't do. You like to do what's comfortable, what's okay to you. And so if I wouldn't have said yes as fast as I did, I feel like I would have ended up holding myself back. So thank you for even thinking of me to be a part of this.
No doubt, it was easy. It was an easy decision. I sent you something the other day because I was like, we can push this back. We can push this back to February. What'd you say?
I said no. And I actually said, I was like, this year is all about stepping out of my comfort zone. Because I know me. And I know if I would have said, yeah, let's push it back, then I would have just came up with excuses, the reasons why I couldn't do it, all of these other things. Actually, I think last week in the first week of January, I was sick as a dog. Like, I didn't have the flu. They said I was negative for everything, but I was sick as a dog. I had a horrible cough. So I already was like low key making excuses. I was like, oh, this cough ain't gonna go away. I can't be hacking on this live stream. Like, no. So I knew that if you gave me an out, I would have taken it, and it only would have held me back even more.
While you were sick, I was working. I was probably getting on your nerves. I was sending you all kind of stuff. I was chatting.
No, it didn't get on my nerves. It actually made me like more excited, like seeing the flyers, the pages. I was like, I had a sense of ownership. I was like,
Mm,
this is really ours. So it made me even more excited to do it.
that's what's up right there. I mean, I'm sitting here like I'm pumped up because, like, for me, I do podcasts, but I do audio. I do more audio. So I'm going to do a plug real quick. Spotify, Apple Podcast, the Changemaker Playbook Podcast. That's what it's called, the Changemaker Playbook Podcast with Coach Toby J. Drops every Tuesday. But I do audio, so it's easier to do the audio. Like, I struggle with kind of doing like live because, like, when I was like during COVID, like I would speak. Like I'll go speak. I'm a Maxwell leadership guy, so I speak, do leadership training, I coach. So it was easier for me to do in-person speaking. I was like, oh, I like that. But when I had to look at myself on the screen, and I felt like I was just talking to myself, I was like, man, this is so uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, I'm my audience. That's how I felt. Like I am my own audience. So I was like, I'm just gonna do audio. I did some webinar stuff on podcasting, and they was like, start off with audio. I was like, yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start off with audio. But this year, I was like, I want to transition into video, and because everybody's been like, hey man, it's time to do video. But I didn't want to do my Changemaker Playbook podcast video. I wanted to do something new, like there's something different. And so, like I said, I was like, I'm gonna do this by myself. I'm gonna invite Micah to be my first guest. That's what I said. And then like an hour later, I was like, no, I think I'm gonna ask her to do it with me. You know what I'm saying? Like co-host, because I like the idea of a male and female doing it together. Because a lot of times the people that I'm speaking with are males, and it's like it's male dominant. And so to be able to get a male perspective and a female perspective on some things, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some things we're not going to completely agree on. You know what I'm saying? Which is all good because it's perspectives. And so I was like, this is a challenge for me too. You know what I'm saying? Even though I speak, but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. If you looked at my page, you don't see a lot of lives on there. You know, I looked at your page. I was like, okay, Mike could be doing some lives, okay. Which leads me into why I asked you to do it with me, though. You know what I'm saying? Why I really asked you to do this with me. So I got to tell the story, right? And you're going to have to be congruent and speak with me on this story. You know what I'm saying? You got to do the fillers. You got to fill in. But so I was invited to go speak at the church Micah attends. And so when I got into the church, they of course did what everybody else does when you go speak. They put you in a room. I was in that room by myself. I was ready to go, excited, blah, blah, blah. People was coming in and out this room, so obviously y'all use that room for different stuff. And so pastor walks in, it's like, hey man, it's what we're getting ready to do. We are getting ready to go over the floor of the service, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna do pre-service prayer. I was like, okay, that's okay, that's cool. That's cool. So people started coming in. And some of the people I recognized, you know, male, female, dap them up, what's up? Some people I had to introduce myself to. So I sit down, and he was getting ready to go over the floor of the service, and the door opens up again, and I look over, and I'm just gonna be honest, I had double look because I was thrown off. I was just thrown off, man. I was like, I looked and I was like, oh. And as y'all can see, let's just keep it real for a second. As y'all can see, it's obvious why I was thrown off. Micah looked nice, don't she? Look, yeah, she looked nice. So I was thrown off. And so I was like, okay. And so I had to refocus myself. Literally, like, okay, I'm here. I am here to deliver this word. I'm here to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And let's get up out of here. And so we prayed. I didn't introduce myself to you at first. We got finished praying. I was like, hey, how you doing? My name is Toby. You said your name was Micah. And I looked at you though, and I was like, okay, but who's your mama? I was like, who is your mom? And you told me who it was. I was like, I can see it. I can see it. And so go ahead. Share your part as far as why you walked in the room when you walked in the room.
So, first off, that day, let me start off by saying I never go into that room for several reasons. I'm also a part of the praise team at our church, and a lot of times when we are getting ready for the start of service, that is when the ministers, pastors, deacons, all of them are gathered together in that room praying. It was church anniversary weekend. We had 2 services that day, so it's gonna be a busy day. And I already was late to church. Now, was it my own fault that I was late? Absolutely. Thank God I didn't get a ticket because I was definitely doing the dash to get there, like running across the parking lot. And I walk in, put my stuff down, getting ready to walk up front. And my pastor stops me. He was like, hey, come, speak to, I can't remember if he said the minister or Toby. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, I'm late. Like service is starting. I've already met him once before, even though it had been like 2015. So I knew you probably didn't remember. I'm like,
at all.
I ain't trying to go in there like I'm about to be late. And I'm actually, I shout out to my pastor, Pastor Aaron T. Murphy, for sometimes I give him a little bit more flack than I should. And so I'm kind of giving him some back and forth. And I'm like, I got to get up there. Like, service is about to start. Pray. He's like, oh, no, it won't take long at all. So in my head, I'm already, man, I got to be up there. I need to hurry up. So I'm already getting in Micah mode. But I'm also telling myself, Micah, you're about to walk into this room. you cannot be rude to one, you can't be rude to anybody, but two, you cannot be rude to the minister. Like you need to get it together. So I'm like, okay, let me straighten my face up, walk in here, be polite, because what is going to be the first thing that he sees when he sees me? Is he going to get attitude, neck rolling? Is he going to be able to tell that I don't want to be here, or am I going to be pleasant and inviting?
Absolutely, because that first impression could have been different. If you'd have walked in, it could have been more like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait 1 second. But you're right. So you got yourself together, you walked in, whole different. I don't know if it was a fake. Did you have to go like
I, I kind of did a little bit, only because I have my facial expression always tells it all. Like I can never get away with it. So my mom will tell you, growing up, if she had to get us together before we went into a store, she'll be quick to be like, fix your face. So that's what I was saying in my head. I'm like, girl, fix your face. And so it was genuine, but I also knew that I had to keep this in check.
so we leave the office, we go into service, and the service was good. Now in my mind though, I was like, I'm getting ready to get up here and speak, and I'm gonna sit my butt down. I ain't gonna make no altar calls. I'm gonna speak, sit my butt down, hit that road, head on back to North Carolina where I live. And so it didn't go nothing like that. Didn't go nothing like that. So towards the end, I ended up making an altar call concerning what I spoke about. But I wasn't expecting for that many people to be up there. I mean, to the point where the pastor or Aaron had to be like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss service. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss service. Okay. So let me just say this to you real quick. I know where I'm at. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss service. So I can see you can't. This is why we're going to have to make some adjustments in February. We're going to have to make some adjustments. We just getting started because you can't see what I see. You can't see what I see. You can't see like your grandmother done responded. Your sister done responded. Now your mom. So are y'all being real? Look, I'm going to put this up on the screen. You can't. She said, so are y'all being real tonight? So you can't see it, can you?
I can't see it.
You're going to have to go back and watch the playback yourself because you can't see it. But that's going to change. That's going to change in February because yeah, we made some adjustments. So, but he dismissed service. And so I was like, okay, I'm leaving too. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm out. Okay, service over with. All y'all up here, you got to bounce. I got to bounce too. But no, that's not how it went. So it was interesting because normally when I pray for people like that, I just pray for them based on what I spoke. You know what I'm saying? And I pray it over and boom, boom, boom. But like I said, this is the first time where the coaching came out while I was praying for people. Like I've never done that before. Like praying for you, but yet I'm conversating with you at the same time. And I get to you, and I remember I asked you, why you was up here, and you told me why you was up there. There's some decisions, some things you need to, make that was coming up that you had some decisions you need to make. I said, okay, cool. And so I remember grabbing your hand, and the minute I grabbed your hand, I was like, are you a speaker? Do you speak? Then I was like, specifically, do you do podcasting? And your mom was saying it was right there. It was like, well, he's saying, I want to know what he's saying. I want to know what he is saying to her. And so, but she was like, what did you say? And I was like, I repeated. I asked if she spoke and does she do podcasting? And your mom was like, oh my God. And went to your dad and was like, what did you just tell her? He was like, does she need to do a podcast? And I was like, well, if I ain't hit nobody right, if I didn't get nobody right, I got you right that day. I was like, okay, boom, that hit the target, and that was all God. So what was you thinking in that moment? What was you thinking in that moment?
So I honestly when I went up for prayer, my mind was like nowhere on podcasting at all. But earlier that week, I believe I had did either a Let's Talk Tuesday or Prayer Time with Miss T, and I was on there. And my dad and my sister, both in general conversation, was like, Mike, you need to get into podcasting. And this is a conversation we've had several times before. And they're like, what is taking you so long? What are you scared of? Like, why will you not do it? And I had just had that conversation with them that past week. But you know how it is with family. You be hearing them, but you really don't be hearing them. So I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. So when you said that, it was nobody but God. Like it was undeniable. And I'm one of those people, and I love that God loves me to answer prayers my way. Like I'm gonna throw the fleece out there. Like you got to wet the fleece, we gonna bring it back in, make the ground dry. Like I need undeniable proof that this is what you want me to do. So when you said that, I was like, okay, I can't deny that this is an avenue that God wants me to go down.
And then I was like, okay, so I can. Once you said it, I was kind of like, I can probably help you a little bit in that area because I just got started, so I knew the platforms to use, probably some of the mics you might be able to use, and so obviously we stayed in contact, and it led to this, and so I was like, I thought about that moment, like it reminded me, I was excited about it, like I'm really excited about this, like it's a few things in life where I'm just like I get pumped up. The fact that I was doing all that stuff, sending you those flyers, doing all that, I was up late night doing it. That's how pumped up I was about doing that. But the reason why I was excited, just like from a biblical standpoint, okay. Remember the story when Mary got pregnant with Jesus? The angel of the Lord went to Mary and was like, "Hey, you're gonna be pregnant with Jesus." And Mary was like, "Okay, be it unto me according to your word." And then she went to see who? Elizabeth, who was pregnant with John. And it says that when she walked into the house, that John on the inside of Elizabeth, that baby leaped, it jumped. And so, in other words, there was something on the inside of Elizabeth that connected with something on the inside of Mary, right, that made that thing jump. And so when I was talking to you on the inside, there was a jumping going on. I was like, okay, this person she's trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do. She interested in podcasting. Then I found out why you speaking. You know what I'm saying? I found out why you speaking because you got licensed. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, definitely. So I was officially licensed in September 2024. I'm officially a licensed minister. Um, and that was also another thing that like I was like, God, and it's actually a funny story within itself. I was doing a fasting period because I needed direction from God. And me and my mom were talking, and I literally told her, and I was like, if God's called me in the ministry, I need undeniable proof. It has to be without a shadow of a doubt. It can't come from any one of y'all. And at that, as soon as the words left my mouth, and my mom can tell you this, my childhood pastor called her. And he called her on accident because he was actually looking for my dad at the time to have conversation with him. So they have conversation really quick, and then he says, hey man, before we get off the phone, God is telling me that it's a prophet in your house. I get ready to turn around and walk off because I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that. And she was like, where you going? And then he doubles down and he was like, actually, it's a prophetess in your house. And I was like, dang it. And my mom was like, tell him what just happened. So I told him, and he was like, that's nobody but God. So I'm always testing him, and like I'm like, you gonna have to show me. So after that, I still even waited months before I went to my pastor. And I finally went to him, and I was giving myself so many excuses. I was like, I'm young, nobody wants to hear me, I'm a woman, this is the South. And my pastor embraced me. He was like, if you seriously want to do this, we can do this. All the ministers and deacons at my church embraced me. Everything that I had told myself was going to happen to give myself doubt, God took that away from me. So it's been a extremely wonderful journey. I have been doing this longer than 2024, but now I have the official license to do so. But I'm honestly just blown away at watching God work in my life.
And that's why we're doing this. That's the reason why we're doing this, was because of that little moment right there where I was like, okay, this will be good not only for me, but I think it's going to be good for Micah. I think we're going to grow together as far as when it comes to the gifting that we have to speak, being able to do podcasting. Not only that, but also, man, add value to so many people. And I think that's the part that's the most exciting for me. It's the fact that we're going to be able to add value to people's lives. And it's just not going to be us dropping nuggets. You know, it's not just we're going to have some guests on here that's going to drop nuggets with us. We're going to deal with some that's one thing we want you to do. Put in the comments, you know, if you're watching this, throw some topics out there that you might want us to talk about, you know, and we'll be as real as we possibly can be when it comes to all of that. But again, look, we trying to stay 30 minutes. We trying to stay 30 minutes, 8:30 to 9. The truth of the matter is, like, last night we was like, okay, let's get together and talk about what we're going to talk about. And that was like 2 podcasts right there, just sitting there talking. And so we're going to try to value your time, because we know time is one of the most precious, valuable things that you guys have. And so we don't want to waste it, and we don't want to take advantage of it. So we want to make sure that we're bringing you content that is going to be encouraging, inspiring, that's going to challenge you, that's going to catapult you to the next level in your life, personally, professionally. What else, Micah? What else? Don't get me going. Don't get me going. Go ahead.
Just wanting to help people grow in every aspect of their life. Because for some people, at whatever season they're in, you might not be ready to go to church yet. And so dropping nuggets might be for you. But the thing is, as much as it's for everybody else, it's also for us. A lot of times, like when we're having conversation and discussion, like it's impactful to me as well. And like I'm receiving it. So I hope that it, impacts each and every one of you. And also, just to double down, guys, like the page, share the page, invite other people to the page. Follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Dropping Nuggets, Toby and Micah. I think that's the YouTube.
But you want to say it the other way, don't you?
Linked.
You want to say it the other way, don't you? You want to say it the other way.
No, I do want to say it the other way, because most people want to put their name first. But it's okay. And plus, M comes before T in the alphabet. Just saying. But it's okay. It's okay.
That's
but
true.
Please, just share this with someone that you think can receive this. And I feel like we have so much in store for you guys, and I just can't wait to watch you guys grow as we grow.
Absolutely. And the one thing I do want to say is this, this is the first one we've done. So we realized that I think the lesson taken away from all of this, even at the beginning, has some technical problems. I am a person who will make excuses for not doing something. In other words, I feel like sometimes it has to be perfect, meaning the I's got to be dotted, T's got to be crossed. And if it's not, I won't even start. And I just want to say this to those people out there who you got a dream you got a dream. You're dreaming. You got a vision up here, but you're just struggling with getting it out. You know what I'm saying? And getting it to a point where I'm going to walk this thing out. But the reality of it is, in order to get it out your head, the first thing you got to do is you're going to have to take a step. And it might be an uncomfortable step. You know what I mean? And sometimes taking steps means I'm going to have to take a step out of my comfort zone, out of a place of familiarity. I got to take a step out of a place of familiarity, because what you're looking for is going to be found outside your comfort zone. What you're looking for is going to be found in that place of unfamiliarity. And sometimes you got to take that step. And always remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do got to get started to be great. You got to just get started. Just like me and Micah, we realize, look, the first time you do something, the reality of it is it ain't gonna be just great. You know, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. But man, don't overwhelm yourself and don't feel like you failed when you did something for the first time. It's a journey. Learn from it. You only fail when you don't learn from it. And so, just like tonight, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm thinking about how it started. I was so had that thing teed up perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like for like 2 weeks, I was like, okay, we good. The intro to this is gonna be good. I have this countdown. That thing went south. But it's all good. It's all good. We got started, and that's the lesson in this. You know, we're here to get started. We believe that we got something on the inside of us that's great, and we're about to release it. We're about to drop some nuggets on all of you guys, and I think if you just apply them to your life, it'll take you to the next level. I'm gonna let Micah have the final word, close it out, and I'm gonna be quiet.
Just to kind of piggyback off what you said, it's a slang term used, and it's like you sometimes you got to jump off the porch, and that is literally what we are doing and what we did. And you don't have to have everything all together. Like if you have a dream and right now you can only do so much, go ahead and do what you can do. Because when God sees you trying, He's going to meet you and you will have that provision. And you will, like, when He sees you putting in that work, faith without works is dead. You know, so we are like having the faith that these things will be done, but we're not putting in our part. So jump off the porch, start whatever it is that you want to start, that you want to do, no matter what it may be, and watch how you are honored in that, and just how you will feel like such a great sense of accomplishment. Like I feel like this is kind of like a baby, and I'm like so happy. This is our very first episode, and it's just like a great sense of accomplishment. And each and every one of us have something that we want to do that we deserve to feel that way about. So I'm so glad that you guys have tuned in with us. I definitely hope you picked up some of those nuggets we were dropping and you are able to take them away and apply them to your everyday life. And as he said, this will be every third Thursday of the month. I do not have a calendar in front of me, so
February 20th.
February 20th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And once again, please like, share, subscribe, and follow. Until then, we will see you guys.
Hey, didn't Micah do a great job, y'all? Look. Then clap, clap, clap. Yeah, yeah. Love you guys. Have a good one. Boom. How you feel?
I feel excited. How do you feel?